Hey family, thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. For those who don't know, my name is Jennifer Williams and I share words and teachings and life lessons that the Lord lays upon my heart that He wants me to share with you all. So I'm so glad to have you here. And the lesson that I'm going to share today, He wanted me to speak on is what I've entitled early delivery. And so he wanted me to talk about my pregnancy. And so what this lesson is about is talking about us being equipped and being prepared because we don't know when our due time is to give birth. And when you think about when somebody is pregnant, now, they say that the normal term of pregnancy is 9 months, but in my case, with my children, I gave birth at 8 months. And they, of course, they came prematurely, they were fine. But sometimes you don't know when you're going to give birth, and you don't really dictate when that birthing period is going to be. It's normally the child that dictates when it's ready to come out. And so with me, like I said, I don't carry full term with my pregnancies. And so both of my children, they came a month early. And so what the Lord was really showing me with my pregnancy and just with giving birth early is that He's encouraging each and every one of us to be prepared and equipped with what He's given us to do, that we are going to give birth to. Whatever it is that the Lord is laying upon our heart, whatever it is that He's given us to do, that mission, that assignment, wherever He's leading us into, that promised land, whatever place He's called us to occupy in, He's asking us to be prepared. He's asking us to get ready. He's asking us to be equipped and prepared because we don't know when that moment of delivery is going to happen. Now, in terms of pregnancy, it could happen at the full term, which is 9 months. And I know for some, they've kind of gone over the 9-month date. But for some, it could come early. And so you never know when your due time of delivery is going to be. And so this lesson was just reminded me that in terms of with my pregnancy, the first time kind of caught me off guard because everybody would tell me, and textbooks and everything will say that your pregnancy normally lasts 9 months, which of course wasn't the case with me. And I would go and get my bits, and a lot of things you kind of leave to the last moment, not knowing in my case that my child came early, and it happened both times. But both times I was caught off guard. Yes, I had some things ready, but there was a lot that I didn't. And so I wasn't fully prepared. And it wasn't just preparing myself physically with buying all the baby bits and equipment and everything that I needed, but it's also being prepared mentally, being prepared emotionally. Because when you're preparing to give birth, it's not just a physical action, it's not a physical part of it, but it also takes a lot out of you mentally and emotionally. So when it comes to being prepared, it's about preparing yourself all round, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and even spiritually, to give birth to what God has placed inside of you. And so when I gave birth to my babies, that it was a rush to go and get the rest of the items and the equipment and the things that I need, because I wasn't ready. Everything wasn't to hand. And so what God was really teaching me with this lesson is that we don't know when the time is going to come when we are going to give birth. Whatever it is that He's placed within you, whatever He's placed within us, we don't know when that due time is going to be. But He's asking us to get ready. He's asking us to be prepared. He's asking us to see if we have the equipment and utensils, the tools and everything that we need. Yes, God prepares us and He equips us and He gives us what we need for what we're going to give birth to. But a lot of the times it can be us just dragging our feet because we think we've got more time. Or it could be the case where we kind of put off for tomorrow what we should be doing today. And so ask yourself the question, Am I where I'm supposed to be right now with what God has called me to do? Is there something more I need to do to get myself ready, to get myself prepared, to get myself equipped for what He is calling me into and where He's positioning me into? Because the time of giving birth, we don't know when that's going to happen. In the case of pregnancy, it's your baby that dictates when it's ready to come out. And we don't always know when that's going to happen, but we know that when it does happen, it's going to be right on time and it's going to be God's timing. So the question that the Lord wanted me to ask you with this teaching about early delivery, are you prepared and equipped so that when it comes to giving birth to that promise, to that dream, that it may not come on your calendar, it may not happen in your way or in your timing, but if God was to do an acceleration, if He was to move, would you be ready? Would you be ready when He says, right, go now, or go over here? Would you be ready? Would you be prepared for it physically? Would you be prepared for it mentally? Would you be prepared for it emotionally and spiritually? To go when He says go, to move when He says move? Because yes, it could come on time, meaning that it could come 9 months in the case of a pregnancy, but it could come early as well. And whatever the time that when it comes to you giving birth to that promise, to that seed, whatever it is that God has placed within you, when it comes to giving birth to that, it's always going to be on time, in His timing. It's not going to be on our timing and the way that we think it should look like and the way that we should go. In the case of with myself, because it was twice I was caught off guard and I was caught unawares. You know, the word says in Isaiah that His thoughts and His ways are not like our thoughts and our ways. And as high as the heavens is from the earth, that is how high His ways and thoughts are from ours. So the way that God moves, the way that He thinks towards us, the plans that He has, is not always going to be in line with what we want and how we want it done and when we want it done. But everything is going to be done in His way, in His timing. And all He's asking is, are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you gathering what you need to gather in order to make that move when He said move into your promised land? When you go into the book of Joshua, when Joshua was leading the Israelites into their promised land, and God said to Joshua, in 3 days you are going to cross over the Jordan River to go into the promised land. And they had to gather up all their equipment and everything that they need to make that journey. So when God said it's time to move, that they know that they're going to move to cross over. Are you ready to cross over your Jordan River? Are you ready to make that journey into your promised land? Are you ready to give birth to the vision, to the dream that God has placed inside of you? And if you feel that right now you're not, this is a time to get ready. This is a time to be prepared. This is a time to be equipped and allow God to do the equipping that He needs to do in you, as well as what He's going to do through you. It could be external sources that you need to gather up, but it also could be internally. It could be certain things and works that He wants to do in you, that He's preparing you in order to birth through you. So look at where you are right now in your life and just ask yourself, am I ready? Am I ready, just in case that God would just say in an instant, let's move? Because we know that He's a God of the suddenly. We know that He's a God of acceleration. And we know that when He says move, we know it's time to move. We don't know when the timing is going to be. Like it says in Ecclesiastic, there's a time and a season for everything. And yes, we may know that this is our time and season to give birth, but we don't know when that's going to be. We don't know the date. We don't know the month. We don't know the timing, but we know that this is a season of giving birth. And I don't know if you've noticed, but just even more recently, I've been feeling this with myself, that there's just such a shift in the atmosphere. There's just such a shift in the spirit, where the time of momentum is just increasing. There's a time of acceleration. There's a time of birthing. There's a time of advancing and occupying the area that God is calling us into, to advance and occupy into our promised land. And the time and the moment is right now, that God is doing something new. God is doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? Do not focus on the former things. Do not consider the things of old, but behold, he's doing a new thing. And this is the new thing that he's doing right now. This is a season of giving birth. But are you ready? So this is just a life lesson that he was showing me, and just through my pregnancies, because like I said, it caught me off guard. 2 times it caught me off guard. I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. But when my babies came, they were right on time. They didn't need any extra care. Nothing was wrong with them physically or anything like that. They were just ready to be born. And so the timing for them to come was right. Although it wasn't my timing and on my scale in the way that I wanted it, but it was the right time. It was the right time. So when it comes to giving birth, think about where you're at right now. If there's other things that you need to do right now, get prepared. Get ready. That's the word that the Lord is saying. Get ready, get prepared, and get equipped. Because you never know the time, the moment that is going to happen for you to give birth. Now, you may think it's early, but we know on God's timing is always right, and he's always an on-time God. So this was just a life lesson to encourage you and to bless you and to remind you, to remind all of us really, to be prepared for what God is doing. Get ready. Gather up what you need to gather up, whatever you need to learn, whatever it is you need to get your hands on, whatever it is that you need to do, get ready. Because the timing is coming, if not already here for some, that when he says move, it's time to move, it's time to go. So I hope this word has blessed you. I hope it has encouraged you. Please do leave in the comments what you thought about this word, and where you are right now in your stage of preparation and getting ready to go and cross over your Jordan into your promised land, in giving birth to the dream and the vision and the calling, the kingdom assignment that God has placed upon your life and what he wants to birth through you. And I would love to read where you are right now in your time, in your season of just preparation and transitioning as well. So do subscribe if you haven't done so already, and it'd be lovely to stay connected with you. Do like and share this message also, that others too can be blessed by this word. And catch me next time with another life lesson. Love you all, and God bless you. Bye bye.